Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 family. Follow us on Twitter at CheatersInVRPin. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC. Well, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cheaters Never Pin. I'm here. Mr. Workrate's here.
That's true. I am here.
Let's do this.
Is this questionable?
No, remember that time Brock screamed it like that and he had the traditional Brock voice crack? I forgot who he was yelling at, but it was, I'm here, you're here, let's do this. Look it up on YouTube. It's good.
Okay.
If you ever need a laugh and like you got 10 seconds to spare, Lesnar, let's do this. What are we gonna do tonight, though, Tom?
We're gonna yell a lot. I can foreshadow this happening.
You're gonna yell a lot. I'll yell about NXT. I'm gonna do nothing but praise the Slam of Summer.
Yeah, you're just working heel tonight. I got it.
It was the biggest party of the summer.
Well, now that WCW doesn't exist and there's no Beach Blast.
Bash at the Beach?
They had both those events.
What?
Don't try to correct me.
What is Beach Blast?
It was actually the event that they had before Bash at the Beach, I think.
Like OG in Daytona Beach.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, 1992 and 93, it was Beach Blast.
Today I learned.
And Bash the Beach started in 94.
Fun.
Apparently, when Hogan shows up, he's like, "Nah, brother. Gotta be Bash at the Beach, brother."
Yeah. Sounds less racist, brother. It's like,
I
wait,
like black
what?
people, brother.
Yeah, they're the best.
HH.
Much love. All right, so let's just dive right in. Well, first off, Tom and I were at the 24-hour bike challenge this weekend. Thank you to everyone who donated. Monies were raised. Sweat was lost. Thank you.
Yeah, there wasn't much sleep either. But
I came home and slept like an angel Friday night.
Yeah, you went home
I
because
did. I learned my lesson last year.
No, the real competitors, the people that were trying hard to, do the job so that your contributions actually mattered. They stayed the whole time, like me.
Wow. Tom, I did 20 minutes in the Finn Balor gimp suit. That's got to count for something.
You were going to do that regardless.
No, I did it for the monies. I also did it for The Rock. Which is real weird because why is this guy riding on a recumbent bike in a hoodie for me?
I just assumed you meant crack, but
oh well,
that's great Dwayne Johnson.
That's the great motivator. That's why
what keeps you going at 3 a.m.
Well, yeah, that's how I pay for my crack with Patreon.com/Section328.
Thank you for your contributions, everyone.
So do you want to start with Takeover or SummerSlam?
Let's do Takeover first, since Takeover came first.
Yeah, hey now.
And that makes me happy, and then we'll
all
get
right,
to.
Let's talk about Takeover. Overall grade.
Okay. I give it a strong A-.
Okay.
I really like this card. This was, it was short to the sense that it was 5 matches because it's only a 2-hour show instead of a 4-hour show. But, you had 5 strong matches across the board from a work rate standpoint, and all of which told good stories. I really love Johnny Gargano. I think he is the next. I mean, if they really want to rebuild a Daniel Bryan underdog character, it's Gargano. It's not Sami Zayn. As much as I love Sami, it's Gargano, and yeah, I mean, I just loved it as a whole. Do you want to break it down piece by piece, or?
Well, I was gonna say B-.
Okay.
As you alluded to, the matches were well worked. I will give the talent credit there. I have no issues with much of the talent on this card. My issues all lie with finishes. And what is the future of NXT going forward? But we'll get there. So we'll go match by match. So first up, Andrade Cien Almas with star of the show, Zelina Vega, defeats Johnny Gargano in 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Maybe my favorite match of the night.
Yeah, it strongly went back and forth. And again, I just kind of gushed about Gargano before. I mean, his facial reactions and just his selling are amazing. And I think he made. Almas just has never really impressed me that much for whatever reason. And he just made what necessarily wouldn't be that interesting of a match, especially as an opener, into something that kept me interested the entire time.
Yeah. I think Almas's biggest problem has been his gimmick when he came in with the suspenders, and the fedora was terrible. Turning him heel has kind of unleashed him a little bit. And I think pairing him with Theo Trinidad has helped tremendously too, kind of bring it out of him. And Johnny Wrestling is Johnny Wrestling for a reason. Fuck that finish. Practice it before. Figure out how to throw that fucking shirt. Also, don't throw a fucking shirt in a match on pay-per-view. This isn't goddamn Raw.
Yeah. I get that.
Took all the wind out of the sails when I was watching it. For me. I was just like, really? That's how you're going to end this great match? And I get it was a DIY shirt, but it's just, it made me hate the last 30 seconds of that match. Sanity, which is Alexander Wolf and Eric Young, are the new NXT Tag Team Champions, defeating the Authors of Pain in 12 minutes.
Swerve!
Well, to me, I don't know.
Well, I meant Swerve to begin with, because it was supposed to be Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane.
Yeah. Right, and then EY tags in, which I thought was an awesome spot.
Yeah, it just kind of, and that's one of those things that will show EY as the mastermind, because he saw what was going on and decided, okay, we're going to throw some different strategy together.
Yeah.
We're going to outsmart Paul Ellering.
Right. Yep. Best spot of the night was the Killian Dane spearing one of the Authors of Pain into a table propped in the barricade after the Author of Pain had caught Nikki Cross. So all three of them ended up going through this table. Holy shit.
So by far, Nikki Cross is the best member of Sanity.
Her, Eric Young.
I love Nikki Cross.
She's forgettable.
I enjoy her, so.
Yeah. Then in what should have been a snuff film, if they were actually, given time and a storyline and, weren't just set out there to just kind of do stuff. Aleister Black defeated Hideo Itami.
Itami's not going to mail in a match necessarily, but I think kind of the writing's on the wall where he's just kind of playing out the stretch and ready to go back to Japan. And again, he's not going to necessarily dump on a match necessarily, but no. It's going to be what it is, and it's not going to be outstanding. Yeah. And that's what it ended up being. It ended up being very, very good. And some of the imagery with after Black got his nose busted and just kind of had that blood kind of going off to the side, just kind of drying on the side of his face. And it looked perfectly in place, as if it was something that was done almost intentionally, because just it gave an extra like piece to that match.
Yeah. Aleister Black had the most badass entrance of the year.
Yeah.
I love it. And if there's anyone, I know people have always, like, at first it was Wyatt's going to be the next Undertaker. Then it was Balor's going to be the next Undertaker. No, if anyone's going to be the next Undertaker, it's Aleister Black. Like, and for that aura.
And the answer is no one's going to be the Undertaker. Cause
no.
You can't do that. That gimmick doesn't exist anymore.
No. But for someone to have that kind of dark aura,
yeah,
it's him.
If you want, like, super goth dude,
yeah,
that's the way to go.
That's, he's way into the occult anyway, so it works. This is his personality turned up 100%, which are the best gimmicks.
Exactly.
Yep. In the worst match of the night, Asuka defeated Ember Moon, because, fuck, who gives a shit about the women's division? Is there a women's division anymore in NXT? Who the fuck knows? Asuka's still the champion. I don't care anymore. I didn't care fucking 6 months ago.
So you wanted Ember Moon to be champion?
Anybody but Asuka. So part of this is I don't care for Asuka. I don't like her work in the ring. I don't like her personality. I don't like her, whatever her gimmick is, which is undefinable. There's nothing about her I like. Period. I do not connect with her on any level. So I have an inherent bias there. But two, like, how long... You've killed every woman in this division. Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Liv Morgan, Ember Moon, all of them dead. Like, what do you do? How do you rehab this division without bringing her up and then it's going to be a project when they try to reboot this division, because no one looks like they should be there.
But I guess here's the issue that kind of like NXT put itself into. NXT, for the most part, stopped being a developmental territory about 2 years ago.
Right.
Once they started getting the TNA guys and Ring of Honor basically became the NXT developmental territory. Because WWE would look and see who was getting over in Ring of Honor and sign them to a particular contract, put them in NXT as like the finishing school for the most part, just to make sure, like, okay, are these guys really going to be over or not? And then just as a holding pattern to wait to see where we can find a slot for them, and then they call them up. So there is no development technically in NXT, except in the women's division. And what you ended up happening is you had a decent amount of women that were brought in that literally actually went through NXT developmental. And then you had Asuka, who was already somewhat established, who you already established with this kind of killer gimmick going in, to the point where you had somebody that was already at that main level and everybody else, there wasn't anybody else at that level. So you couldn't realistically put anyone over her, because you developed her into this monster that beat Bayley, that beat, Alexa Bliss, that beat all these people that are on the WWE main roster right now. And you can't realistically then turn around and have Liv Moore or Peyton, whatever her face is, come in and just take the belt off her without something dramatic happening. They dug themselves into a hole. So Ember Moon was probably the closest one that they thought could potentially transition off of. But I mean, is she ready either? I don't know. I don't think so necessarily. It's possible. She's probably the only one that could do it at this point, but I mean, she's still not necessarily there either. So if you're still selling Asuka, and I guess this is the thing with NXT too, is that people who watch NXT also watch the WWE product. This isn't a separate thing. So when you had people in, let's say, if you were in Ring of Honor and got signed and you're going to NXT or you're going to WWE and you hold the championship, you're going to drop a title when you're leaving. That's just how promotions work. The issue with NXT, since NXT is so connected, or at least the viewership of NXT is so connected to WWE, you can't, it becomes much more difficult to perform that transition. Because you're having this person that you put on a pedestal as your champion lose to someone who is basically beneath them, that has been beneath them for this entire time, because this is the champion who's been defending their championship. All these other people have been beaten by them. And then taking this person that lost to a lower person and then calling them up to a higher division and expecting them to be competitive. It doesn't make sense.
You're right, but they could also just get a cattle prod.
Yeah, they could do that, and they're not going to. And see, when I saw Asuka win the match, first of all, great imagery with when Ember Moon's flippy floppy Stone Cold Stunner Eclipse move.
Yeah. Formerly the O-Face.
Yeah. When she nails the move and everyone goes, oh shit, transition, title, title's changing hands, it's over. 1, 2, 2 9/10, and she kicks out. Ember Moon's reaction is the best. It was one of the best stories told there, because you just see the look on her face, and she had been this kind of badass or whatever, and you take the close-up shot of her face and you just see, it's not even a look of amazement, like, oh shit, I can't believe, she kicked out. God damn it, I gotta work harder. She's just sat there for like a minute in this look like, I don't know what to do next.
Right.
Like, I'm fucked. To the point where she looked like she was going to be in tears. And I thought it was great because, again, you're turning around, you're taking this person that has this like killer move that's defeated everyone else, and Asuka's this unbeatable thing. It's like the immovable force and the irresistible object. She hits the finisher. That's it. That's the thing that needs to get done, and it doesn't work. And she looked like she was completely lost. Like,
yeah.
It was like that moment she realized, I can't win this match. And I thought it told a great story.
So, last question about this, and just a yes or no answer, because we'll revisit this in 6 months to a year.
Okay.
Does Asuka have any hope of being over on the main roster 6 months after her debut?
6 months after her debut.
Yep.
On the main roster?
Correct.
Yeah.
I say no.
There's a possibility. I don't. It's, it could go either way. I think it's possible.
It's possible, but highly unlikely, is my thought, with her ability on the mic. Which I fully mean her inability to speak very clear English, which
right.
we know how Vince feels about that.
She's colorful. She's colorful Hideo Itami.
Yep. So, hey, she's injured now too, so it works perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's out 6 to 8 weeks, collarbone fracture. So it'll be interesting to see if the Mae Young Classic works its way into this.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to get a Kiri Sane Asuka match for a title out of this? Probably. Am I gonna not watch that part of Takeover? Probably, because I don't like Asuka. But what I
just
did
want to see
like
that elbow drop.
Except she can't use it.
She can.
Huh? Oh, has she been using it again?
Well, when they did the little profiles for the Mae Young Classic, where they did the little snippets of everyone, they showed that as her trademark move.
Gotcha. I haven't watched the bracketology yet, so
yeah.
Okay.
So I saw that, and when she was talking about being like a yachting expert and all that type of thing, it just showed in her profile. It was like diving elbow drop or whatever, and I was like, yay!
Cool. Drew McIntyre is your new NXT champion. He defeated Bobby Roode. It was time. There wasn't really any. Again, there wasn't anyone really left for Bobby Roode, so they got the belt off of him. Holy fucking shit! What a concept. Good match. Good heavyweight match.
Yeah.
I like this wrestling. I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just an enjoyable match. It was not as flashy as any of the prior four.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because you tend to forget how freaking tall Drew McIntyre is.
I always forget until I see him in the ring, and I'm like, God damn, that's a big boy.
And again, they told a good story going into it. They completely acknowledged Drew McIntyre's past and his previous run as Intercontinental Champion, and how he kind of basically dropped the ball, so to speak, and then went to other wrestling. Don't think they said specifically where, and then worked his way back up, and then came back to NXT and grew a beard. And
interesting note: 2/3 of 3MB are world champions.
Yeah. And Heath Slater's not.
And I was saying it one of the two is the wrong one.
But that's yelling to take place later in the podcast.
We'll get to that. Let's see. Then at the end of the match, as Drew's celebrating, Red Dragon, who we totally forgot to mention, attacked both the tag teams earlier in the night after their match.
Yes.
Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. Distract Drew McIntyre on the apron, and through the crowd comes Adam Cole, baby!
Baby!
Yep, so Adam Cole's here. Future Shock is here, bitch. Get ready. I'm so ready to look at taping spoilers.
Welcome to NXT is ROH.
Yep. Like, the one thing I hope is that Nigel McGuinness is totally on their side all the time. That's how they have to play this on commentary.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't have a transition here. So if you do shopping online and you use Amazon, you should go to cheatersneverpin.com and click the Amazon button before you do your shopping.
Remember when they used to have like DVDs of pay-per-views that you would buy?
Yes.
You used to be able to get them on Amazon.com.
And if this was 2004, you could have gone to Nope, you couldn't have. Let's pretend. You could have gone to cheatersneverpin.com and clicked the Amazon button before you bought your your Capital Punishment DVD. There we go. I was trying to think of a defunct
Taboo Tuesday.
There we go. That's what I was trying to look for. God damn it. Before you bought your Taboo Tuesday DVD, and it wouldn't have cost you anything extra, and it would have clicked a few cents back to us to pay for ice from my ass, which is still sore from the bike.
Yeah, we didn't need that imagery, but it is what it is. At least it's ice and not, a salve or...
Boudreaux's butt paste?
I've actually purchased that item.
Hey, it works. It's good stuff. I've never used it, because I'm not old.
I have not used it on myself. You use it for diaper rash.
Oh. Look at that. Boudreaux's butt paste. Proud sponsors of Cheaters Never Pin, but not really. Also,
if you
cheaters
if
never
you
pay.
own Boudreaux's butt paste, feel free to contact us for sponsorship opportunities.
Hell yeah. I'll smear butt paste all over myself. All right, SummerSlam.
Yet another seamless transition.
Yep. I'm not even trying tonight on those. I couldn't find one coming out of that, so I was just like, fuck it. Let's do the ad read. Overall thoughts on the biggest party of the summer, Tom?
It was underwhelming to me.
Okay.
There were a few good matches. It was a lot of the same stuff, I feel. It was long.
What? It was only 5 hours.
It really had some big cards. You look for your bathroom opportunity matches, and it had several of those. Decisions for pre-show versus actual main show card building were questionable at best. But, I mean, it did what...
Grade it?
C+.
I was going to say B+. Most enjoyable pay-per-view so far this year.
Okay.
Yep. I think so. So let's go through the math. Let's go through the card. You're shocked. Okay. I really liked it. In front of 15 people at a gym. Oh, wait. In front of 15 people in the Barclays Center, The Miz and the Miztourage defeated the Hardy Boys and Jason Jordan on the pre-show.
I like this match solely for the fact that it gave Miz more fodder to use against, like, WWE management cutting promos.
Yep.
Also, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel won on a pay-per-view.
Yeah. It's in 2017.
The year of our Lord.
In the latest game of Hot Potato, Neville defeated Akira Tozawa to regain the Cruiserweight Championship on the pre-show in front of 45 people.
I like how we mentioned before going into it, like, after Tozawa won the belt, like, oh, well, that was kind of a surprise coming into that. Was that something that you think, do we think that he'll keep the belt? And yeah.
They just did it to do something on TV.
Yeah.
They just tried to pop a rating. They tried to pop a rating with the Cruiserweights. LOL. Which they could if they did it right, but they don't. So...
Well, God forbid, you try to entertain a Brooklyn crowd.
Beach balls are now banned from WWE facilities, in other news. Hallelujah. Fuck you, Brooklyn.
Seriously, I'm kind of at that point.
Yeah. The Usos regained their SmackDown Tag Team Championships from the New Day in front of, I think we're up to about 10,000 people at this point on the pre-show.
Okay. Arguably easily the best match not on the main card.
Oh, 100%.
And depending on your love of work rate, the best match on the card.
It was a lot of fun.
And again, I think we've talked about it before. It's like, it's easy to forget how well the New Day work as a tag team.
Yep.
And I mean, Xavier's getting the time now because Kofi's hurt. So Xavier's doing a lot of work, and you tend to forget that Xavier actually can work pretty well. But they've got that little guy, big guy, formula going. And the Usos are just... if there's any team that's impressed, I mean, they have to be the tag team of the year right now, right?
Yes. They were the Hardys. It's hard to say. But based on like match quality alone in WWE, it's the Usos.
Yeah. So, I mean, thoroughly enjoyable match, and I have no problem with putting the belts back on the Usos because I think it works better with belts on them. Strong heels work better with belts.
This is a fun little feud. It can go on for a while. Like, no big deal.
And what you've got now is pretty much you've got the Usos that have no sense of humor because they're so straight and so like good. Angry. And you've got two face tag teams, the two most over face tag teams in SmackDown, and they're both comic tag teams. So that's what you have. You have that contrast of the super serious Usos, and you can go both ways. You can go with New Day. You can go with Breezango.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we've had it with both already, and they've worked either way.
Yep, absolutely. Then the main card started. Boy, did it start off with a bang. When John Cena defeated Baron Corbin in 10 minutes.
R.I.P. Corbin's career.
Hey, he got to ref Tuesday night.
Until he was not allowed to.
Yeah, until Shane yanked him out of the ring. What did he did?
Reportedly, he did something online, and the only thing I could find, I tried to go through his like Twitter account and see where he was bantering. And the only thing I saw was him like bitching back and forth with Meltzer, and I would think that would get him higher of the praise of
he'd have cashed
WWE
in and won
booking
in 3
company.
seconds. Yeah.
But
yeah. So it's one of those things yet to be seen. Cena now on Raw.
Maybe he's still considered a free agent, so
yeah, but he'll be on Raw for now. Then we'll bounce it back and forth. He's either going to have a feud against Joe or Reigns or whoever else was in that match.
Can I say I love the Cena Reigns tag team? Just for how pissed off it makes the fucking crowd.
Can I tell you how proud I was at how hard Cena worked that fucking crowd to where when he got the pinfall, that arena fucking exploded with cheers Monday night? So good.
Because, and I mean, we could go on and on about this, but it's just, crowds are conditioned, or if you're a smart mark, you hate John Cena because reasons. Just the same way that you kind of hate Roman Reigns because reasons. So, I mean, Cena, for the most part, puts together a hell of a match. Yes, it looks like he's got the 5 moves of doom, but you know where that term originated? It originated with Bret Hart, and everybody fucking gets erect when they talk about Bret Hart matches. So
half their body gets erect.
You don't talk that way about my boy Bret. Don't you talk about Bret that way?
So, speaking of Bret Hart...
That's enough of the Stu Hart impression. Thank you.
Speaking of the Hart family, Natalia's the new women's champion on SmackDown.
Because, sure, why not?
Yeah, whatever. This match was whatever. It was fine.
I love Natty, like, outside of wrestling. As a wrestler, or as a wrestling personality, because she's a fine wrestler.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As a wrestling personality, I think it's mainly because we have no idea. She has no idea. She's like got Big Show disease. She has no idea if she's a face or a heel.
Depends. Is she on Total Divas or SmackDown?
But it changes from match to match. So, and it's hard to get a consistent character down if you're playing heel one week and then kind of playing face the next. And she doesn't go hardcore one way or another, so it just, you kind of get stuck in this like tweener role, and that doesn't work for her.
Yeah. Other people that have heat backstage. Big Cass defeats the Big Show. Enzo Amore was in a shark cage, but he oiled himself up and slid out. And then still got punched in the fucking face. Or kicked in the face.
Because his home planet needed him. His home planet.
Are you equating Enzo Amore to Poochie?
He died on his way to 205.
But he's there. He confronted fucking Neville, dude.
Best part of that was the Neville face afterwards.
Did you see somebody on Reddit made a compilation gif of all of Neville's reactions during that entrance?
No, I have to see that.
It was amazing. I don't know. There's nothing to say about this match. Big Cass is hurt now, though. Supposedly a torn ACL is what we're hearing now.
Yeah.
He'll be out for a while, so that's good. It's one of those things that may be well timed.
Yeah, it's just a whole thing of Enzo goes away, Big Cass gets hurt. In 6 to 9 months, the music's gonna hit and everyone's gonna fucking forget the feud happened in the first place.
Like I said, you have Enzo tied up in something against a heel, and he keeps getting beat up, and then the music hits and Cass saves him, and we forget that it all happened.
Yeah. Something, no dimes.
Yep. In 10 seconds, Randy Orton defeated Rusev.
Exactly 1 dime.
There's nothing to say here because this match didn't even matter. It wasn't a match. Let's not even do that. And 2, there was no story.
Remember when we were talking about this match, and I said, well, they could do something with Rusev, and it would really help him out to get the win here. Yeah. Lol.
I told you, and I'm pretty sure I said no. Randy's going to win this match.
Oh yeah, I said Randy's going to. That's what I said. I said it would really help Rusev to get a win here, which is why Randy's going to win.
Yeah. Got to make Randy look strong. Also, just have to give him a reason to hit the RKO. And then, was he even on SmackDown Tuesday night?
I don't think so.
No. God damn it. I got to take summer vacation, Vince. I got to get my tattoos redone.
Got to go to a Trump rally.
No, that's Big Cass. That's actually why he quote-unquote hurt himself. True story.
Next match.
Sasha Banks defeated Alexa Bliss by submission for the Raw Women's Championship. Okay.
Yeah.
They had a good match. A match these two are capable of doing. And Sasha has the belt now.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the same people. So it's...
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a thing of they wanted Sasha to get the champion, like want her to get a SummerSlam moment or something like that. I don't know if SummerSlam moments are a thing.
She had to break the Brooklyn curse. Remember how much we talked about the Brooklyn curse?
No.
Yeah, because she'd never won in Brooklyn before.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I guess last year is when Charlotte pretty much dropped her on her head.
Correct, and the year before that was where she lost the title to Bayley. At Takeover. Yeah. So, she beat the Brooklyn Curse. That was the story of this match.
That's some fine storytelling.
Yep. Finn Balor, the Demon King Finn Balor, defeated Bray Wyatt in 10 minutes and 40 seconds. Are you surprised since it's Wyatt on pay-per-view?
Am I surprised since it's the demon Finn Balor who is a demon that demons at midnight? No, I'm not surprised. No.
They told you what was going to happen. They put Finn in the paint, which is an automatic win, and it's Wyatt on pay-per-view, which is an automatic loss.
Yeah. It's not a complete automatic win, but...
I guess they're moving on from each other because Finn wrestled Jason Jordan for some ungodly reason Monday night.
Because Jason Jordan wanted that match, and he went to Daddy, and he got it.
So fucking stupid.
So I'll tell you the story of that match.
Okay.
I was watching it with my wife, and the match was 10 minutes and 40 seconds, and for approximately 10 minutes and 20 seconds, she was fascinated by his paint and how it stayed on his body.
Dude, that's got to be new paint, because it's never done that before. They did something different with it. I think it had like a clear coat over the top of it. It was very shiny.
Yeah, we were talking about it too. Or just like, well, because I had mentioned previous matches and how it kind of wears off, especially with sweat, and must be some of that WWE money, and yeah. So that was the discussion of the match. But yeah, they kind of did the thing where Bray Wyatt does his wacky things, and Finn Balor's a demon, so he doesn't care about the wacky things.
Yeah.
We don't care that you do the crab walk, which is the least intimidating thing in the world, which people are supposed to sell like it's the fucking most evil thing ever.
And I've heard from certain people in the past that Finn acts no different when he's the demon, so what's the point? He was different this time.
Yeah.
There was a new intensity, a new, like, not being spooked by the crab walk, which people get spooked by. It's part of the gimmick, whatever. Like, it felt good this time, which to me it feels good every time. Never mind. I almost just went to a really weird place.
He was, and the thing with Balor, and I've been critical of it too, was that in a PG era, you have this demon persona, which can't really be. I mean, I go back to how in Japan they treated Great Muta versus Kije Muto. Kije Muto was a wrestler that was a good scientific wrestler and did the moonsault and was a nice guy. But when he got evil, the Great Muta would come out and blow the fucking green mist and like take weapons from ringside and use chairs and like get downright violent looking for blood. There's a reason why it's the Muta scale and not the Muto scale. But you can't do that in the PG era. So what can you do? And I think they did it really well in this particular match in that they had him be more aggressive. They had him be less intimidated by Bray Wyatt. And he was consistently on offense without necessarily making it look like a squash. But he never let up. Like a lot of time, just in general wrestling, when you get the advantage, you kind of slow things down or kind of work a body part or something. He didn't do that. He was constantly on offense. When he had the upper hand, he was constantly hitting moves and staying on offense. He wasn't trying to work a body part necessarily or anything like that. He was just hitting offense. It was like playing a video game. You just want to hit every move that you can. You don't want to work a arm bar.
It was great. I loved it. Match of the night.
Not shocked.
Why? Why would you say that? I'm confused, Tom. We have a new Raw Tag Team Champions as well. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins take the straps from the bar, Cesaro and Sheamus, in 1835. Really good tag match. Really awesome to see the Shield win, which they had to after all the reunion nonsense. And it wasn't nonsense. It's pretty awesome. I'm glad to see them fisting each other every week.
Hey, now.
Do you have any comments about this match?
You just mentioned the men fisting each other. I don't know what I should say.
Okay. Speaking of fisting, AJ Styles defeated Kevin Owens thanks to Shane McMahon because the match was all about Shane McMahon as the special guest referee. Not thanks to Shane McMahon. I don't know why I said that. This match was about Shane.
Just an observation. Who is the least popular character in that match? It's Shane, right?
Yeah.
I mean, from the crowd standpoint even, not necessarily from like you and I being the smart assholes that we are, but like from a fan standpoint, like you're watching the match, you're getting pissed off at Shane, aren't you?
Yeah. Absolutely, I think so. And then he has to go get himself completely involved again, and the storyline has to be about him on Tuesday as well.
I was going to say, and SmackDown made it worse.
This whole thing is about Shane, and I think we're probably building to Owens versus Shane on different fucking Survivor Series teams.
Right. Oh, God. Yeah.
Yep.
Which I don't necessarily mind that much because I like the dorky Survivor Series teams where, it's Kevin's countrymen or
it'll be Shane, AJ, Sammy, Randy. It's somebody versus Owens, Rusev, Corbin, Mike Kanellis, someone, I don't know.
So Corbin gets eliminated in the first 7 seconds, and HBK just kind of shrugs his shoulders and goes, "Who is that guy?"
But he does it in the Colonel costume.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't even want to say this out loud. Jinder Mahal retains against Shinsuke Nakamura because we only have one finish for this match, and the Singh brothers interfered with for 11 minutes and 25 seconds. It's the same fucking match.
Do you want to get an Uncrustable now?
No, there's nothing more I can say. It's the same fucking match. It's the same finish we've seen at every pay-per-view since Jinder's been champion. It's fucking bullshit. It's time to move on.
But here's the thing that pisses me off about that. And it's the fact that Jinder, and I've come to, yes, I know, in your eyes, it's finally coming around to this conclusion, but it's the fact that Jinder is just being booked like it's 1974.
Yeah.
Because Vince or whomever wanted that evil foreign heel. And it's like Jinder himself kind of wants to cut these promos that don't make him an obvious USA hawk, he's not going all Iron Sheik. But he's putting together these promos that are making him just kind of generic anti-American. And it's, again, the generic, I'm going to be a cowardly heel, which works with the right people. Ric Flair, through the majority of his Crockett run, was perceived to be a cowardly heel, but at the same time, he wasn't, because he would end up kind of getting his medicine, and you'd realize, hey, you know what? He actually is a very good wrestler. That, yeah, he'd end up cheating, or there'd be some kind of interference, or he'd use the cowardly heel to lose the match instead of, like lose it by disqualification, retain the belt.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can kind of build up the big match later on in the steel cage so there isn't the interference or whatever the case may be. You're not doing that here. You're burying your opponent, in this case Nakamura. You're taking somebody who got a clean win over John Cena, who had all the momentum in the world, had the entrance that had the crowd nuts, actually had a decent match with Jinder, and you put him out with one weak-ass finisher.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even a case of, okay, one Singh brother runs up, Jinder hits him, the other Singh brother either hits Nakamura with an object or something like that weakens him enough so that he falls into Jinder's finisher, or he throws something to Jinder so that Jinder can turn around and hit Nakamura, then hit the finisher. No, it's Nakamura had a straight amount of offense around the end of the match for the last 2 minutes of the match, had Jinder on the ropes to the point where he was down. The Singh brothers jump on the apron. He hits one Singh brother. He hits the other Singh brother. He takes one finishing move, again, a weak-ass finishing move, and it puts him out with absolutely no problem whatsoever. Yep. This isn't the fucking RKO. This is a goddamn weak-ass, like, Cobra Clutch slam that he doesn't even do that particularly well. And we had established both the night before and that particular the match right before that it is possible, especially if you don't hit it well enough, to kick out of the finisher. I already talked about Ember Moon dropping this great finishing move and Asuka kicking out of it. We had Kevin Owens kick out of a Styles Clash. We had AJ Styles kick out of a pop-up powerbomb. We had all these things already established, but it's like a completely different booker came into this match and was just like, no, finisher, it's a finisher. That's how we did it back in 1981. That's how we're gonna do it now. Do.
Yeah, this was awful.
Not implying that's who booked the match, but
probably. Then the main event in the actual match of the night. Brock Lesnar retains the Universal Championship, thank God, since, he doesn't have anyone to fight in UFC now, John Jones. He defeated Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe. Holy shit, these guys Strowman murdered everyone.
Yeah.
How great is Braun Strowman? And who could have foreseen this a year ago?
As much as we criticize WWE booking, they've put him in such a position to succeed, and he's just gone with it. Like, they've protected him well. It'd be easy to put him into a position where, almost like, say, Asuka, where they make someone unbeatable, and then you have this unbeatable person that isn't a champion, and you have to figure out what to do with them. Then you end up putting the belt on him, and then you don't know what to do with him. They've still got the aura of him being this unbeatable monster without him necessarily looking like he's the only one that's around.
Right.
And I mean, you had legitimately 4 people that during the course of that match, you could see all 4 of them potentially winning that match.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something to be impressive with.
For sure. And Strowman just murdering everyone's the best.
Yeah.
God bless him. Especially murdering Lesnar like 3 times in a row. Through a table, flipped a table. Which, having Byron yelling, "Oh my God, I think his legs are broken." Byron, lock it down, son. Come on. The flimsy table ain't breaking anybody's legs.
Yeah, this isn't a Japanese table.
No, these actually break. They're designed to. CheatersNeverPin.com. Click the Patreon button. Give us your money. It's a good ad read.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know how it works.
Yeah, if you've been here through all, this is the 30th episode of Cheaters Never Pin. That's right, Tom.
Really?
Been doing this for 30 weeks. We're gonna be going it until we die. Can you believe Roman Reigns? He just won his 312th championship. When will they stop shoving him down our throats? Comment.
I'm just sad because I know that could potentially happen.
Jesus, Tom. I say it as a joke, and you take it for real that Roman Reigns is going to win 312 championships.
Why not?
Let's just move on. Match exchange. Match exchange. Are you okay? I didn't remind you to brace yourself this time.
I'm severely injured. So you're going to have to talk about your match first.
Okay. Well, I watched, it was Ricky Morton and Ric Flair.
Yeah, there were two parts to that.
Yes, I watched the Flair promo from like 2 or 3 weeks before the actual match took place. Which, it's a Flair promo. God bless Ric Flair. He's the GOAT.
Now, did you skip ahead to the actual interview, or did you watch, like, during the Rock and Roll Express match?
I just watched the promo.
Okay.
Yeah, just him there with Shivani.
Because it's just interesting before that, like, he shows up before the match, like, starts, and, like, he starts talking to Shivani, and, like, the Rock and Roll Express have a match. So, like, they're like, oh, we have to actually cut to the ring. So Flair doesn't leave, and he just keeps talking through the entire match because that's what you did there.
Well, he's Flair. He's the world's heavyweight champion. He gets that right. And Shivani just standing there. God bless Tony Schiavone. And then the Ricky Flair match, which originally started, it was going to be the Rock and Roll Express versus some guy and Ray Traylor.
I had no idea that was actually him, and then I'm queuing up the match to watch it, and I'm like, holy shit.
I saw the name because when you sent me the text with the timestamp, you said featuring an interesting enhancement talent. I was like, who's it gonna be? And then they said Ray Traylor, and I was like, oh shit, it's the Big Boss Man.
And the thing was, I ended up looking up, like, when the hell did Ray Traylor start as Big Bubba Rogers?
Uh-huh.
And it was only a few months after that. So I saw this guy, if you, and you don't really get that much of a view of him, you see, he just looks like a relatively skinny for, for that.
Well, all you see is his back, because then the Rock and Flair shows up at ringside, starts yelling at Ricky to, let's just do this now. We're not waiting. And then they just drop kick the enhancement talent out of the ring and start the match. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the match. It's Flair and Ricky. Come on. It can't be bad. A very classic 6:05 Saturday night super main event that ends when skinny ass Afro Riff takes a bump.
Pee Wee Anderson.
Thank you. I blanked on his name. I knew it was something ridiculous. It was great. I loved it. 4 stars.
One of the things that I ended up seeing too was how, and I didn't realize it at the time when I was watching it way back when, like, Ricky pulls out a Hurricanrana out of nowhere.
Yeah. He had a sunset flip really early in the match too. I was like, oh shit. Shit's getting real here in 86. Yeah. Loved it. Thank you for that. Tell us about your match now that you've recovered from your substantial injuries.
I did not watch my match. I did not do it out of protest.
Why?
Because I feel that if you couldn't tell me what the match was, because you couldn't even remember the match that you gave me.
God damn it. Okay, we have to pull back the curtain and explain this, don't we? People at home are like, what the fuck? So, about, 4 hours ago, Tom texted me. It's like, what was the match? And I was like, I don't know, Kimberly versus question marks. Let me tell you what it was so you can watch it for next week.
It was Kimberly versus Ruby Riott, whatever she was back then.
That's who I thought it was. And I was like, no, I remember looking for a Shayna, Heidi Lovelace. I remember looking for a Shayna Baszler match. So, that's fair. That's fair, Tom. Do you want me to give you the one I found?
Sure.
So for this week, I have another Mae Young Classic Women's preview match.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
What does that mean?
I want you to look down a list of match exchange matches you have for me, and I think like 80% of them are women's matches.
Tom, I like women's wrestling, okay? Are you being fucking sexist right now, Tom?
I'm just saying, you give me one type of match.
All right, fine. You know what? Then I'm not going to give you this match.
No, give me the fucking match.
No, I'm not giving you the match. Out of protest for you not watching my match.
Are we canceling Match Exchange this week?
It's Kiri Hojo versus Io Shirai in a match of the year candidate for sure, son, from Stardom. Bruh. You know you want to watch it.
We'll see. That's Japanese.
Yeah. What the? But it's still women. And you fucking hate women over there.
It's a completely different style. And
Tom hates women.
And it's probably going to be in a ring that's bigger than 3 foot by 3 foot.
Oh God, Tom. You fucking WWE mark.
Really? That's where we're going to go with this?
You want to complain about ring size? You're so angry right now. What's happening?
Just for that.
Oh shit! Are you finding something right now?
Your match.
Oh no! What have I done?
Is from 1997, May 18th. WCW Slamboree. Steve Mongo McMichael takes on former NFC Central opponent Reggie White.
I thought that's where this was going. All right, fine. Fucking 5 stars. I'm calling it now.
I could have given you Steve McMichael versus Kevin Green.
Dude, giving me a Steve McMichael match in general is fucking punishment enough. Right?
There's so many to pick from too. I was looking for a Joe Gomez match, but I don't think they ever crossed that.
I gave you a fucking great match, and you come back at me with that shit.
I never properly punished you for Jay Leno.
You got a good point. All right, Tom. Now that we've brought down the entire timber of the room by talking about SummerSlam, tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Go to the Twitter machines at Mr. Workrate, at MR Workrate. That's the only place. I mean, there are other places, but don't go there. That's like the dark web.
Tom can be
Fake
found.
news.
Tom can be found using your Tor browsers. You can find me on the internet at the variety of social media outlets at JCBobbitt, JCBOBBITT. The show's on Twitter at CheatersMVRPin and also on Facebook, facebook.com/CheatersNeverPin. Also rate, review, and subscribe if you like all 30 episodes of this damn podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn, SoundCloud, YouTube, all the above.
Although it's 31 technically.
I'm not counting that one.
That we should make that a Patreon exclusive.
I don't know that it's I'm sure it's still on my computer somewhere. I'm sure it's in the archives. The original test episode that we did.
Where we foolishly decided that we could actually do this on a regular basis.
Yeah, we were like, this shit's kind of good. I think that first episode's like 2 hours too.
Probably.
Of course it was. We hadn't found our rhythm yet.
No.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us this week on another episode of Cheaters Never Pin. Next week we'll be back. God, we have forever before pay-per-view, so we got time to fill, Tom.
We're gonna spin a yarn or two.
Oh yeah. You know what? All you need to know is come back here next week and listen to us talk about wrestling. And it'll be great.
That's kind of what we do.
That's what we do. So I'm going to get out of here instead of trying to say more things. I'm JC.
I'm Tom.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.